Get started. Appreciate you being here. We obviously had all the ingredients of a loss. They're all bad losses, but you look at whether it's the scoreboard or when you look at the video or when you look at the statistics, it's nothing good about it. I guess the recipe and the ingredients for losing were all over the place. You talk about turnovers, rushing totals, penalties, and then a big concern is sacks and hits on the quarterback. There was actually, I think, individual and group improvement in a lot of areas defensively. The disappointing part for us was finally taking the lead and then giving up a big play and then a missed tackle and then an opportunity for them to score what was the winning touchdown. And then we had another major lost opportunity with the ball and a chance to win on the last drive and didn't perform. So all rough, hard stuff that we've got to fix. Injuries. Marcus Newby is a new injury. Hamstring, will be out for a while. I don't know what that means exactly yet, but won't play this week. Matt Farniok broke a bone in his wrist, is getting a pin in it, and may be available for some duty this weekend, but not full time. He won't practice this week. Matt has been on the punt team as a shield guy. I don't know what he's going to be available for at this time. He certainly is doing everything he can. He wants to get it casted up and play, so we'll see where he is. Trey Bryant is still questionable at this time. Josh Kalu still questionable. David Neville a little less questionable. We'll see what he can do and how he is today. The tackles that would be available if David is not ready would be Brendan Hymas and Christian Gaylord, and we will know more about that in the next couple days about how that would work. Antonio Reed made it through and played with his cast, and my hope is there that he'll just get more and more comfortable because it'll be a while before he gets that cast off. And then the bottom line in summary is everybody has to obviously be really, really tough here, mentally tough, physically tough. Our adults have to be the teachers, and they have to be at their best right now, and giving and arming our players with a way to get better. The big battle, as everybody knows, is getting the mind in the right place. We've got a great group of kids that. They have the best of intentions, and we just have to help them and how they're doing, and give them concrete stuff to get better. I think the most important part in the coaching right now will be really, really good teaching on this is how we can get better. Our problems were evident, right? I mean, we didn't block for the quarterback. We were inconsistent in the run, and so we've got to do a better job in all those areas, and we've got to help them. We have all we need here to win. The resources and help provided by Sean and the administration here are awesome, and we understand the expectations, and we embrace that. We are here to perform and compete and recruit at the highest level, and we did not perform like that on Saturday, so we got to get back to playing good, solid football. We're playing a Rutgers team that, as you look at their first game in particular, they gave Washington fits. It was hard for Washington in the ball game. Rutgers jumped out in the lead, and then Washington had to kind of scratch and claw, and they made some big ad-lib type plays to, I think, take the lead and then hold on to win it. But it was hard. So this defense has played well. And offensively, they're efficient. So we're going to, it's just going to be a Big Ten game, and we've got to play a lot better than we did last weekend. Questions?
You say the big battle of getting your mind in the right place. As a leader of the program, are you concerned about confidence?
Oh, for sure. I think that, you know, you wouldn't be human if doubt didn't creep in after something like that, Steve. I think that, you know, that's where, like I said, the adults, the coaches in the room have to help these guys. You know, one of the big things, even without a game like that, is always through the course of the week, building confidence on how it's going to look on game day. And, you know, I'm thinking that it's a process that will start today with practice and will continue to rise as we go and practice through the week.
Mike, you look at your lineup and your players, and maybe we need to move a younger player up or on the depth chart and give them another look, or do you shake up the lineup at all?
Well, you know, the lineup, as we look at it right now, will be shaken up, but probably, Ross, by injury right now. I mean, you know, Brendan Hymas is a true freshman, and I just talked about him maybe starting in the game. So we're certainly looking at anybody that is competing to get in and play. That is kind of always the case. We are looking at a couple of more guys, like an Andrew Ward. Do we need to activate him? We're getting pretty thin at the linebacker position now. He plays inside, and we need some help outside, and so we're thin at some places. We are always open to competition, and we are looking at younger guys playing as we go, or other guys playing. Yeah.
Mike, have you guys looked at putting Cole Conrad back at tackle and then maybe Decker at center? Is that an option?
We've talked about all of that, and one thing you have to be careful of, Sean, is that you know, guys are placed as starters for a reason. And if you do that, are you weakening yourself at two spots too much? You know, so, but those are all good questions and things that are being examined.
Coach, when you look at your offensive line, some of the issues you had, and you try and diagnose some of the things that are going on there, what stands out to you?
Oh, it's probably, this will oversimplify it, but it's either a combination of technique of play or assignment. You know, being sharp on assignments, the combination of the two.
Hey, Mike, I think at the time that you've been here, 16 of your 29 games, something like that, you've been behind at halftime. I guess, how do you account for the slow starts? Is there some secret to getting your guys off to a better start? Well,
we certainly want to be a fast starting team. And, you know, one of our goals that we have weekly is to score on the first drive and of both halves, and so, you know, at this point, with what just happened, it just all but comes to the front. On, you know, I think that we've got to get a real solid game plan together, build up the confidence of our players, and, you know, we actually, you know, if you're talking about initial starts in the game, we had a great drive going. And then, of course, the interception touchdown on the bubble screen threw us. But we had run the ball pretty well. We'd hit a couple passes. It looked like we could have a good start. So, I'm not as much concerned with that as I am with just the overall picture of play throughout the game.
Mike, when you look back at that 2nd down and 3 there with the interception, is that a good call? Did you agree with that, or when it came in, or what?
You know, that's actually a run-pass option. Has normally been, maybe with a different configuration in the receiving area, normally been a pretty safe bubble screen type throw. You know, it was either a wide field corner blitz or a hard played cover 2 that came off of it, and our receiver didn't have time to block it, obviously, and DeMornay didn't even know it was coming. So, you know, when that configuration looks like that, it might be best to use the run part of the run-pass option.
In 2012, you decided to retake the play calling duties at Oregon State after farming that out for 3 years. Is that something that you consider this week or going forward in the season?
You know, I've thought about stuff like that. I've got, you know, and really outside of the last game, Sam, I've always thought about that part of it. You know, and then I have to balance all those kinds of thoughts with what I need to do in all parts of the program, and I will end up doing what's best to do in that regard. But at this time, no.
Because in 2012 and 2013, your offense did get better with retook.
Well, I don't know if it was me or Sean Mannion that got better.
Is there a difference between the way that you would do it and the way that it's done? Because I know that you're pretty hands-off and you kind of let it be done the way it is. But your perspective,
You know, when things aren't looking good, you know, it's my responsibility to help in whatever way, step in whatever way that I think is necessary. We have examined, as of yesterday and as late as this morning, our process for getting ready. And, you know, whatever happens, I'm responsible for that way. So we have looked at that, examined it with individuals and with the staff, trying to find a better way. You know, I see it as a teamwork. It has to be, and everybody has to play their part. This group has been successful, and I have all the confidence that they need to be, but we do need to re-examine exactly what we're doing in the process of getting our team ready. So we made some moves to try to do that as of starting today.
How much more closely do you examine what's going on with the offensive line? You step into that more now?
Well, you know, I think that when you look at when you look at the picture of what happened the other day, I think that there's problems involved in probably. Well, the best way to say it is you also, in the way that you can help your quarterback with whether it's quick passes or draws or doing a better job in the screen game, you can help your offensive line a little bit by settling down if you can establish and really have some few identity runs in the game. You know, and, you know, I think that when you look at it, when I mentioned the statistics and all the recipe for losing here, as far as probably if you look at our team, we have to run the ball better. So a real concise run plan, a really good preparation for that group. We will have then a chance to protect better and block better if we do all that. But it has to be all done in combination of the two. You know, if you know, we ran a beautiful play-action pass early in the game, hit DeMornay for, you know, and so the combination of that run and that pass, you know, in continuing as we go, that's a picture. That's just a brief glimpse of what it can look like. We obviously very, very inconsistent, way too many 3-and-outs. So the combination of getting some running plays that we're good at and doing a good job at, and then mixing in passes, so that we know our recipe has been that if we run the ball effectively in games, we got a great chance to win, and we don't turn the ball over. Now, all that fell apart in that game. That's why we lost.
Mike, could you elaborate a little bit on what you mean by examining how you're getting ready? You said you might have changed some things up. And what are you talking about there?
Well, those are kind of the inside workings of the preparation of getting ready for an opponent. You know, some real concise re-examining. You know, when you have a game like that falls apart with what you're trying to do, then you go back and examine what can we do a little differently day to day, in the morning, in the night, getting ready for the next practice. Our day is a cycle of 24 hours that gets ready to give our kids stuff for practice. How we do that and how we best prepare and what we look at. And maybe I brought up some thoughts about condensing and doing well. You know, not too broad of a picture. Whatever we do, we have to do well. So it's a process of looking at the plays we want to run, putting them together, finding the best way to prepare our team for practice. We always think we do that, Eric. But when something doesn't work and is as bad as it was the other day, it is worth re-examining how you're doing it.
So it's more of what you guys are doing as a coaching staff as opposed to how you prepare the players. It's more about you guys.
Absolutely. We have so many hours to get ready by the time they get here for their 2 o'clock meetings. Okay, so what goes on at night and in the morning before they get there is really important. It's like putting the lesson plan together for them, and how we do that and how we present it and prepare them so that they get all the looks, all the stuff they're going to get in the games. And you know what? It sounds so bad because that's what you should do. And it's not that we haven't done it. Is there a better way to do it? And so on the inside of it, we just examine that.
These last 48 hours obviously difficult for you, but who do you lean on? Or who do you bounce stuff off to get you through these?
I've got such great support people here. You know, there's all of that, and you know, I guess one of the things that I guess is a good thing is I have been around a while, so I've seen good times and I've seen hard times, and I feel good about that. That, you know, we can do better. We can help these kids. We can play better than that, and that can result in winning. And so, but I've got a great support system. I've got a tremendous home. You know, that part of it. I think she still likes me. I think that part of it's okay. I used to rely on my dog Rudy when I got home. I knew Rudy just wanted to go for a walk. He was glad to see me, but Rudy's not around anymore. So, but Dee's pretty consistent, and I think.
When you look at these issues, are they easy fixes or are they a long process?
No, you know what? I won't say anything's easy when it looked like that. I do think it takes work, and it's a process, and part of it is going to be mental, building the kids' confidence back up. You know, we've got to help, obviously, the people that are blocking. I actually think Mikael Wilbon ran hard and made some good runs, and many times was his own blocker and made some good yards. Then Devine went in there and went hard, and so I think we've got some of those parts. We've got to help our line and our quarterback.
What do you think of Sean Eichler's comments after your press conference? He said those things after you spoke. What did you think of that, and what conversation did you have with him over the weekend?
Oh, yeah. What specifically did he say?
So you didn't.
No, I didn't listen, but he told me a little bit about, you know, that I think bluntly about how he felt about the game, and I kind of feel the same. I mean, none of us like this, right? And you know, I certainly think that whatever was said was an honest reaction to what he saw, and none of us liked it. There's no sugarcoating it or anything. But as I mentioned, we get all the support and all that. I don't feel any of that, and I don't worry about the other parts of it this time. I'm just really, I just really know we can play better than that, and do better than that as coaches. So that's. And whatever is said, we probably earned by anybody, you know. So it's, you know, you just wear it and know that that's the case, and do better, and we can do better.
You coached a program that has been going through this for a long time. I mean, it's almost 20 years since the conference championship. You know, you've talked about how much you think of the fan base, but I imagine you also recognize that in moments like this, the uproar gets pretty loud.
Yeah.
How does that influence the challenge of putting this thing back together?
Yeah. You know what, Dirk? I think that, you know, frankly, let's just step back. That's why we came, right? It's a great place with the most unbelievable fan base and people that care. We've been all through that, right? And I really believe that's true. So you wear that, you take that on the good, and you know what will happen if it's not good. What we're going to do is stay the course to bring it back. You know, so we have to do that in the football end of it. We have to do that in the recruiting end of it. We have to really remain consistent in that way. And so I guess I would respond by saying I understand all that. These folks, everybody's hungry to get back, and that's why we came. And we're not, that's talking to recruits yesterday. We have that vision. We're going to keep fighting for it. We have to do that through the football part of it. We have to do that through the recruiting part of it. And we just going to, we took a step back for sure Saturday. So we've got to fight to get that back and more as we go. And we will. These things, if handled correctly, can be cyclical. We can do better. We're going to fight for that. But I don't think you can coach anywhere, and especially here, without those kinds of aspirations. That's exciting to us, and we want to continue to plug toward that.
Mike, you've got a pretty strong recruiting class right now. What is your message to the recruits out there to keep them locked in?
Well, I think that our vision, and frankly, ones that are committed understand our vision to where we are and where we want to go, and do they want to be part of this as it comes back. And so we kind of stay the course with that thought with those guys. The other recruits, I think that it's like anything. If the relationship is strong, if you stay with these guys, and recruiting anymore, everybody's, we've got the beautiful stuff, maybe the best, but everybody's got nice stuff, nice facilities, all that. The relationship that's built and the vision of their life at the place is the key. And so when those relationships are strong, and you have a bump, you can get through it. That's been my experience in recruiting, and so you just keep building that and keep recruiting, and then you have to do better in football.
On the offensive line, Matt's obviously the young guy, but with the starts and the experience you have there, are you surprised that you're talking about technique and communication mistakes 3 games into the season?
Disappointed, for sure. Surprised, probably. We certainly can do better than that. And again, that's re-examining our overall process of getting ready. That needed to be done.
I know the rah-rah stuff can be overrated sometimes, but have you seen some stuff from player leaders in these tough times that you've liked or that you think can benefit you guys going forward?
I think that the one thing you need from your leaders at a time like this, now we're just getting started in the week, and the way we do it, I saw a lot of guys yesterday as they came through the building or were in the training room, but haven't seen them as a group, haven't seen that response of what it'll look like at practice today. But I really have no doubt about how Chris Weber's going to be today, and what you need from your leaders at this time is a real consistency of going back to work. And leading in that way. I'm sure a few words here and there by every guy that is like Chris, or is like Gerald Foster and even Stanley Morgan. I think as people see them go back to work and do what they're supposed to do, Tanner Lee is really well respected and obviously a real tough guy and will come back to work today. I think as they see that, people will fall into place and do what they're supposed to do. I don't have any doubt about how those guys are going to approach it today.
Like, I know this is cliche, but do you have to kind of treat this conference schedule like a new season with your guys going forward here?
Yeah, I think, gosh, I'm going to treat this new week like a new season. I mean, whatever, and frankly, whatever happens in the last game, what you have to do during the season, we could have eked out a win, but we can't hide from what went wrong anyway. I don't think we've played, frankly, consistent offense all year. So we have work to do, and it came to a crescendo the other day. So we've really got to go back to work, be solid, and like I said, give these guys some real concrete stuff about how to get better. That will be their biggest. The biggest motivator for these guys right now will be information on how this is going to work.
This might sound kind of odd in retrospect, but were you worried any about overconfidence going into that game?
Gosh, you know what? I remember I told you last week we should just be hungry to play again, to do better, and it sounds so cheap to look back on that comment by me. I did not sense that. I actually sensed us actually being, after that interception, and especially after the second one, being tight. These kids care a lot. I don't think that they're big-headed. I don't think that they disrespected the opponent by not being ready or playing hard. I don't think that. We actually had really a lot of improved play defensively by group and individual. So, and so it's really also always hard to talk globally. You know, we all know what the result is of the game and the score, but you know, there are parts of this thing that did get better. You know, and our punter had one bad punt, but he had a 45-yard net. I mean, so his improvement from a year ago has been great, and his continued work. And then defensively, I already mentioned that kind of. I think that a lot of guys are playing better. I had a whole list of guys that I didn't bring with me that actually played better this week. So there's growth going on there.
Coach, what do you didn't address anything in the punt return game. You had some decisions that you were questioning.
Decisions, yeah. I think that you know, we have to get back to. It's actually something we work on all the time, but decision making in that area is a big factor. It's a lot of field position, and you know, I think that DeMornay in particular is a dynamic returner and exciting, and there were glimpses of us getting out of the box with a good one. But those other parts of, you know, especially in that area down there, the 10-yard line and some of those things, how that, you know, I think that we have to help him by creating more and more situations where he is more prepared. And I think that we need to do that, because I think that the other side of DeMornay is he can break a game open for you.
Mike, you're talking about a lot of potential changes, and this is stuff that you would normally think about in April or May, I imagine. You don't have a lot of time to brainstorm or analyze. How do you strike the right balance between making the proper tweaks and not throwing stuff at the wall?
Oh boy, we can't throw stuff at the wall. You know, the changes are more internal than they're going to be of what goes out there. You know, you can take a play, pretty common football play, a zone play, and it's not necessarily the play or a different play. It's how you execute within that play, and how you are assignment perfect no matter what they do, if that is a play that stays on. So it's not, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. You're not going to see a whole different style of offense or any. The thing that we really lack is execution.
Do you consider practicing more ones versus ones so that your players have a better sense of the scheme they'll see on Saturday?
Yeah, you know what, Sam? We have probably practiced more one-on-one in game week than ever. We still do, like, not today, the first day, because this is like an extra day, but Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday we do 3 extensive periods of ones against ones, basically, and then we have our 3 periods of scout team type stuff too. So, you know, we understand that and try to balance that out. There has to be a part of that is game speed, and they understand that and see that. But that's a great point, huh?
They had a couple of really quick, undersized, fast
Yeah.
events. It's set way out wide.
Yeah.
Do you guys have people who can simulate what they did? Because it seemed like your tackles didn't know how to handle that.
Oh, well, there is no doubt that number 15 was a handful for us on the edge. And, you know, do we have people that we're just like that guy? We do. There are some guys, and we try to match that up so we get that kind of work. And that becomes, you know, either putting somebody like, as best you can, like that on the scout team, or in a one-on-one period, or whatever that might be. I think that is a great point. And then schematically, especially on first and second down, how can you help on a guy like that? We always have to look at that too. And, you know, we at one time didn't help, another time should have helped and weren't quite there. So that goes back to execution and coaching. They all go together, you know, and a player has to look at it like, I can do that better, and a coach has to look at it like, how can I help that player do that better? When you've got that, we got a chance. If either one of those blame the other, then you're losing it. So, and then we've got good people here, so we won't do that. We'll see why that happened and try to help.
Mike, what concerns you about?
Rutgers has 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Each do different things. How challenging is that?
Well, you know, that is always that change of pace stuff. If you happen to get a beat on what's going on with one, and then, you know, we ran into that last year, remember, with Indiana a little bit. So, you know, I think that you got to have different parts, different calls, different things that might help in that approach. You just got to be ready for it, because you can get burned by it. We had a hard time all of a sudden last year when that other guy came in at Indiana and started pulling the ball and running on us.
Mike, what concerns you about this Rutgers team?
Well, I think that, you know, like I mentioned, they've been efficient offensively. You know, just their first drive of the season went down on Washington and scored and looked good. And then defensively, they're pretty physical up front. They create, with that, beating blocks, they create disruption. And, you know, Washington is a good football team, good running team, good passing team, good quarterbacking, and they were disrupted in the game by not blocking guys. So, and they, like I said, they made a couple of ad-lib type plays, quarterback getting out, guy taking off, breaking a pattern, going down the field and hit him. It was hard for him a lot as the game went on. So, you know, I expect a good, tough defense. They haven't given up that many yards per game and not that many points. Thank you all.